Hey guys, this isn't gonna be a new setup or anything. I'm seeing two movies today, so I thought, well, why don't I just do it in my car because I've got a bunch of other things that I'm working on as soon as I get home. I've got a Christmas review I've got coming out, I've got vlogs I need to do, other reviews, and Christmas is on the way, so I thought, this would be a good way to get this out of the way. And basically what I'm going to be doing is I've got another movie to see in about an hour, so I thought I would just split this up and talk about each movie that I saw individually. So the first movie that I saw was Bumblebee, the new prequel Transformers movie based on the Hasbro toys and cartoon series from the 80s. And it's a prequel to the Michael Bay Transformers movies, which have been huge successes, but not critical successes. People really hated those movies, and I was really interested in this movie with it having a new director, a different writer, and I was pleasantly surprised. I absolutely loved this movie from beginning to end. And basically, it stars Haley Steinfeld and John Cena and follows the story of Bumblebee, who's escaped to Earth and during the Cybertronian War, and he meets this girl named Charlie who is trying to get a car, and they form this friendship while these Decepticons, the evil robots of Cybertron, are after Bumblebee and use the help of the US government military to track him down. And John Cena is one of those. And oh my gosh, guys, this was such a surprise. I absolutely love this movie, and I can't believe how much I loved it. I mean, I loved a Transformers movie. I mean, I've seen these movies. I've seen the first four movies. I haven't seen the fifth one. Heard it was bad, but I find them really, they're bad, but I find the first one okay to watch. I know a lot of people hate the second one. I can sort of watch it, but like, these are not good movies, and this was such a breath of fresh air. This felt new, inventive, even though it does do some stuff that we've seen before. A lot of people will compare this to E.T., and that's not a bad thing. If you're going to rip off E.T. in a little bit, this is a good way to do it because this was a lot of fun. Bumblebee is such an endearing character, and he doesn't say much. And Haley Steinfeld's character, Charlie, I just absolutely loved her in this movie. She was the emotional crux of it. She's dealing with her own stuff, like, her father has passed away, and she's dealing with that grief while her mother is trying to move on, and I absolutely loved that part of the film, and that was very emotionally satisfying. And her relationship with Bumblebee is terrific, and Haley Steinfeld does such a good job of interacting with this CGI character that's not even there, and they do such a good job of making this character feel real. Even though it's a completely CGI character, it's not real, but they make it feel real. They make Bumblebee feel real just in the way he moves, his mannerisms, the way his eyes move and widen. It's absolutely fantastic. I love it. John Cena also does a really good job in this film. He's just the typical tough guy. He's basically just a war hero guy that doesn't like Transformers, and he's kind of the antagonist of the film. And he's really good in it. He's having a lot of fun, just being a little bit over the top. And if I could say one thing, this film is very cheesy at times, and I think that's completely fine, everything. It was cheesy, but it never got annoying. I loved all the characters in it, even when some of them were a little bit annoying or something, but they're nowhere as bad as the annoying characters from the Michael Bay films. This film has absolutely heart to it. This has more heart to it than any of the other Transformers movies have. This was just a delight to watch. It was a feast for the eyes. I really loved a lot of this. There was some great action. You could actually see what was going on. All the action takes place in wide shots. Travis Knight did a fantastic job directing this film, and I'm not sure, but I think this is his first live action film because he did Kubo and the Two Strings. And oh, he did such a good job with this. And the screenwriter, I applaud her. She did an excellent job with this film, and I'm glad it turned out really well. This just goes to show you what a difference it makes having a different director and a different screenwriter making these movies. This feels like it was written by somebody that absolutely loved the cartoon show or just understood what you need to make an emotionally satisfying movie. Also, this movie didn't have to be like a big giant emotional type film or anything. It didn't have to be the way it turned out, but it could have just been an action film. But no, this film has a lot of heart to it, and I love that about it. And I'll admit I cried during this film like about 5 times. There was just so many good moments in this film, and I honestly really want to see it again because I loved it that much. So anyway, with all that said, I'm going to give Bumblebee an 8 out of 10. Guys, I say go see Bumblebee. This is a fantastic movie. It's a great movie to watch around the Christmas time. Bring kids to it. Just go by yourself like I did. It's a great film. You'll really enjoy it. I absolutely loved it. And it was just a great film overall. But that's all I've got to say about that. I'm going to quickly go and see Aquaman next, so that'll be my next review, and it'll be in the same video as this, so I'll catch you guys later, and see you later.
3 hours later.
Hey guys, I just got out of Aquaman, the new James Wan film, starring Jason Momoa, Amber Heard, Willem Dafoe, Dolph Lundgren, Patrick Wilson, Nicole Kidman. Am I leaving anyone out? I don't know, but it's the new Aquaman movie from the DCEU, and it follows the story of Arthur Curry, Aquaman, as he's basically caught in between two worlds. His father was a human and his mother was an Atlantean, and the throne comes into question when his half-brother, King Orm, declares war on the surface world, and so Amber Heard, Mira in the movie, gets the help of Arthur to reclaim the throne. And along the way, he learns to become a king. And I absolutely adored this film. I thought it was just a lot of fun. It's visually beautiful. This is the best looking DCEU movie to date. It's beautiful, it's bright, it's colorful, and it really does feel like a comic book movie in a lot of respects. I love how James Wan wasn't afraid to get silly with this film, because this film can be very silly at times, and maybe a lot of people aren't going to gravitate towards that. Maybe it's a little too silly for them, but I had a blast with this. I loved the over-the-top nature of the film. I love over-the-top acting to begin with. I think it's just a lovely way of acting. It's very much like stage acting, which of course is very different from film acting, but I still love it. And we have a lot of moments like that are just filled with testosterone. It's absolutely fantastic. I think that Jason Momoa does an absolutely terrific job as Arthur Curry. This is such a likable, fun character that has a lot of quips, and Jason Momoa is overall just such a likable guy in real life, to the point where, like, a lot of that shows on screen. I love a lot of the chemistry between him and Amber Heard. They're really great together. Mira is a really fun character as well. And we have to talk, of course, about Patrick Wilson, who is an absolutely, he's just a big bad guy. He does big bad guy things. And he is very over the top in the film, but honestly, he's a lot of fun too. This is one of the more memorable villains in the DCEU of the movies we've had so far. Patrick Wilson just brings something to this character, even though the character's not really anything spectacular or special, but his presence really helps. The action is fantastic. There's a particular scene in the middle of the film in Sicily that is absolutely, it's shot beautifully and it's gorgeous and just a really fun action scene. I also love how the action is filmed in this movie. A lot of basically just 360 shots of filming people fighting. That's really well done. I love how that works. I love the action in this film overall. You can see what's going on. The colors pop. It's really fun. Now, like, for something that I don't particularly care for in this movie, I think Black Manta is kind of a villain that's he's just kind of there. I get his motivation, but the character's just not that interesting, and he feels like he could ultimately have been cut from the film, and things would have still turned out the way they did. Maybe we wouldn't have that cool of a action scene in Sicily because he's in that scene, but I don't know. He didn't do much for me, but like I love the costume and I loved him in the action scenes, but overall he wasn't particularly needed for the movie to be or to work. Also, in this movie, we finally get Aquaman in the Aquaman suit, orange and green, and when that scene happens, I'm not spoiling anything really because it does happen in the trailer. When that scene happens, chills. It was just really cool, and I'm not even an Aquaman fan. I've never read an Aquaman comic, but I got chills just watching that scene. It was just really good. And I think they do the characters a service in this movie. Like, everybody's so likable, lovable. There's some emotional beats. I love the relationship between Nicole Kidman and Arthur's father. That's really well done. I love that. There's some emotional parts in this film that really got me. Maybe not as much as Bumblebee, but the emotions hit home with me. James Wan has made an excellent film here, I think, that maybe some people are going to love, maybe some people are going to be really disappointed in it, but I really wasn't. This was a absolutely fun film to watch, and honestly, I want to see it again, right now. I'm not going to, but yeah, that's all I've got to say for that. With all that said, I'm going to give Aquaman an 8 out of 10. Well, guys, I hope you go see Aquaman. It's a fun movie. Both movies that I've watched today are really fun movies that I think you should watch maybe around the holidays. So that's all I got for you guys. So as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next review.